Okay, so welcome everyone. We'll do quick introductions and then we'll get started with the content. So thank you all for being here. We have a ton of people here that signed up through Mike's group, Alternative Careers. So thank you, Mike, and thank you all of you that are coming through Alternative Career. We will want you to be sure you sign up for a couple groups and we'll post those links in the chat as we get going and send out an email afterwards. But thanks for being here. And of course, we have a bunch from Next Level and our Therapy Business Builder program, as well as people that are already starting to build their senior travel companion business. So thank you. My name is Kara Welke. I'm an occupational therapist, owner of Home Therapy Solutions and Next Level OT. And I just got started with working on this. Gosh, it's been maybe a month or so, I think. And I met Karen. And just real quick, I will tell you that for years, I have been thinking about how awesome it would be to start a business helping older adults be able to travel. But I did not have any idea how to do it. And I ended up, starting Home Therapy Solutions and doing that, but it's always been in the back of my mind. And we travel a lot and we like to take our parents who are now older. And it's just so important to travel. And I talk with, even literally yesterday when I was with one of my clients, I'm like, okay, I'll see you later. He's like, no, we're going to Florida. And I'm like, great, I'll go with you. And he's not, but he would love to. And I'm like, seriously, you need to still go travel. So there's so many opportunities out there, which we're going to talk about them all tonight. But I met Karen and then she showed me how it really can be possible. And then I called Mike and I'm like, Mike, we need to do this for our businesses. So that's how us three kind of got together on this. So Karen, I'll let you introduce yourself.
All right. Well, hey, I'm Karen. I'm an occupational therapist, have been one for 21 years now. And I have worked in basically every kind of facet of OT that one can. I was a traveler and contractor for much of my career. So I've worked in 6 states. I've probably taken greater than 35 contracts in different places. And then I had the opportunity to live abroad in Italy and work with the US military in their TBI unit for 2.5 years, which really kind of catapulted me into my love of travel, even more so than I already was. But I've always said travel has always been every aspect of my life. I didn't think there's never been a problem that I've come across that doing some type of trip or travel or getting away couldn't solve. And so I've really always had a desire to combine my love of creating greater access to the world, regardless of their ability or age or what have you, as an OT, with my love of travel. And so about 9 or 10 months ago, I was actually trying to make another business work that was more in the model of home-based businesses, online marketing, all that kind of stuff. And I bumped into this girl who in a Facebook group who was talking about becoming a home-based travel agent and how you could build a team alongside of that too, which we'll get into a little bit more. And I basically stalked her until she signed me up, and I've been going gangbusters with her ever since. And and that is Sarah Molnar, by the way. And so we have together we have built, she has built a team. She had a team of about 15 when I met her. She now has a team of about 150. And I have a team of 66 as of today, which half of that is from you. So I've seen explosive growth because I think we've just really tapped into the fact that you and I are not the only ones that have this desire to create these experiences for, varying populations and those with diverse abilities, and combining our skills. So I recently, 3 weeks ago, I actually just decided to go all in full time with travel, being a travel professional, especially a therapy travel professional. So I am full time in this business in various different ways. And I'm excited to share some of the ways that I have already been doing senior and older adults travel planning and companionship, and where I see it going along with you guys. So that's me.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. Michael, you want to give an introduction? I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone on here knows you, but just in case.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, for those people who don't know me yet, my name is Michael. I'm a physical therapist. I'm obviously a Filipino, and English is still not my first language. So if you hear me talking gibberish, I'm not speaking in tongues. I'm just running out of English. So by trade, I am a physical therapist, but I am really a business person. We do have like the contract business like Tara does, and we have one outpatient clinic in Jackson and 4 assisted livings that we serve. And then we're opening up another location in Paris, Tennessee, like another brick and mortar. And then we're opening up a series of stretch clinics. And letting you know, those types of businesses requires money, a lot of money out of pocket. You take out a loan. With this business that Karen and Kara was offering, when Kara called me about it, too much case, Kara, whatever. It was like a no-brainer. For this X amount, you can start your own little travel business. Heck yeah. So when she offered that to me, it was also in my back of my brain, whatever you call that I've been wanting to do it. Because I had a patient who was actually doing it for the seniors. They will go out of the country, go out of town, they will rent a bus, and then just do it. And then they would ask me, hey, Dr. Mike, how do I put this wheelchair on the bus? How do I fold this before they go out on the bus? And I said, I think I can do this too. So now we're actually organizing one. It's called Older Adult Day Camp. I don't know if you saw my post there, Kara. We're going to do it on this coming May. We already have 6 people signed up, and then we're just going to go out on the camp. So, I mean, if I can do it as an immigrant, and then you got people already here in the States, you guys can do it too. All you need to do is just take action like Karen is doing, and just have the guts to do it and promote it in your community. What I did is I just promoted at the church. And you know what? We were even featured in the TV, in the local news. So all you need to do is just put yourself out there and listen to Kara and Karen, follow their lead. I don't know all the details, but I just follow the lead of the leaders, and everything will follow through. So that's me.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Okay.
I'm going to listen. I'm here in the background.
And I'll tell you all that my family can't wait to go to our next level live experience with Michael, because, well, especially me and my daughters, we just sat down and chatted with Michael for quite a while. He entertained them immensely. So, well, let's get started. Therapists as travel professionals as older adults. Okay, I will tell you this. There's already people out there that are doing these types of businesses. And obviously I'm biased, but I feel therapy professionals are the perfect ones to do it. If you guys aren't going to do it, someone else is going to do it, right? The nice thing is so many people want to do a business where they can still work with older adults. They can still use their therapy skills. But they don't have to deal with insurance or any of that crap. And we're the ones that are telling you, if you're working with geriatrics and you want to do skilled therapy and all of that, you have to do insurance. Well, this has nothing to do with insurance, right? So this is completely different, a side business or a business that you can set up. So we're going to talk about different ones tonight. The first one we're going to talk about is senior travel companion services. So there's a lot of information that I have up on the screen, but basically there is a growing need for senior travel companion services. Those of us that are aging and we travel a lot, we don't want to stop traveling when we get older, just because we might need a walker or a wheelchair or need help traveling. We still want to be able to get around everywhere. So a senior travel companion service is what can provide support and assistance to people with these challenges, allowing adults to continue to explore new destinations and make lasting impressions. Physical and occupational therapy professionals starting a senior travel companion business are able to provide older adults with a unique level of care and attention. So even if you have, just out of curiosity, in your area, is there a senior travel companion business already? You could put yes or no in the chat section. That would be awesome. But just think about this. You guys as therapy professionals marketing yourselves as senior travel companion business, even if you have 100 businesses doing this in your area and they're not therapy professionals, you're already going to stand out, right? Because you guys have the expertise to be able to prioritize safety, wellness, ability, what devices do they need? How can they be safe? You have the ability to provide all of that. And then what we're going to talk to you about is how you can get that travel side so that you're able to design the travel plans for them. So,
Kara,
yep.
I want to share that, a lot of people are saying there's no, or not that I know of. I'm sure there's one. We just don't know of, because I didn't know, because it was my patient who was organizing it for their church. So, but they were asking for my opinion. Hey, Dr. Mike, how can we do this? How can we fold this wheelchair? Is this a wheelchair accessible area? So you are right. We are the best profession to really lead this. And then you don't have to reinvent the wheel, obviously. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. There's a lot of people doing this already. We just don't know who they are. So,
and think about, and we'll talk about this. We have a section on this at the end about group traveling, kind of like what Mike was talking about, but senior centers, places like that, plan group events for older adults. I guarantee you they're not taking into account everything they should be taking into account in regards to making sure the safety and wellness, and that all people can come on these types of trips. So,
well, and oftentimes it's, it's a person who will plan the trip for them, or, they can choose to go, like Road Scholar offers trips for older people, but you still they don't do any of the specialized things that we have. And I think that's where Mike was going with that, is like, there are people doing it. Maybe most travel agents book for older people. Most travel planning services that are for older people are just that. They're travel planning services. You can call Princess Cruises, like I did today for my clients, that I booked them on a 32-day cruise, and they can do that themselves, or they can use a travel agent to do that. But then this customization, this specialization of, what we notice that no one else notices. Like, for example, I was in Los Angeles over the weekend at the travel conference, and I was with my PT friend, and then I was with Sarah also, so my PT travel agent friend, January, and then we were also with Sarah, who is not an agent or not a therapist, obviously, but we were like walking down the Santa Monica Pier, and this guy's hauling butt with a like a wheelchair that can go on the beach. And so we stopped him and we were like, hey, where did you get that? And he goes, they rent them for free. You just leave your driver's license or whatever, and you rent them for free at the aquarium, and they'll let you go and you can take off down the beach. So it's stuff like that, like, maybe someone not a therapist wouldn't have noticed, but then we're like writing it down. Then we're like going to the aquarium. Hey, so it's like those little details that therapists can really bring to it that are just so amazing. And I'll talk more about that in a bit, of the stuff that I have done personally. So I just want to throw that in there.
Awesome. So we get asked all the time, what is a senior travel companion business? And basically you guys can customize this business in so many ways. So we're going to kind of give you a basis, but each and every one of you would create your own unique version of this type of business. So a senior travel companion business involves providing personalized travel assistance to older adults who need help with their travel arrangements. And it can include a variety of things. Maybe you're just assisting with travel arrangements, and helping them plan and book the arrangements. Maybe you are actually setting up people to go with them during the travel. So a non-medical home care company here told me that they get requests all the time for this type of service, that people want to go down to Arizona or Florida, obviously, because who wants to be here during the winter? And they're looking for someone to travel with them down there. So that's another option. You might be focusing on the adaptive equipment and resources. You might be helping with coordination of medical care. There's different, you could offer different packages, you could offer different services. You don't have to offer a companion side of things for someone to go with. You might just provide recommendations on where to go. So the sky's the limit with what you can do in regards to a senior travel companion business. And our goal that we're going to talk about more at the end is we're creating a group of us that are doing it so we can also share resources with each other, so that we can kind of create this big community that is sharing resources of the best places to go, the resources at the different places, and so forth with that.
Tara or Karen,
Yep,
can I ask the question?
of
So
course.
we're already organizing it on this coming May. And I'm sending one of my quote unquote DSPs or direct support professional. She's under my insurance to do the care at home. Do we need to get another separate insurance for travel stuff like that? It just came up to my mind right now because I'm moving to, me, I move fast. So we got 6 people signed up already.
Yeah.
And then the lady will, my DSP, she's the one who's leading it. And then we're going to go on a daycare camp, older adult day camp, something like that.
I think it would depend on whether or not you're not planning to charge travel or therapy services. Are you just, it's just a fun thing that you're, okay.
It's just a fun thing. They're just going to go to the lake. And then, it's a 2 or 3 day trip. That we're organizing. So
well, there's a couple of options there. So I would definitely pay her as have her as a contractor thing separate from your therapy business. So that if she's going there and if you're paying her to go on that, then rather than just paying her as your employee, I would pay her like a contracted rate that you guys figure out. And the other option would be to put her on your therapy team or your travel agent team, but we can discuss that a little bit later too, so that she's actually making some of the commissions potentially, and she's and then she's also planning the travel herself, and then you, me, Kara are overseeing it since we're all part of the same team. So there's options
insurance wise, liability insurance wise.
That would be an area I need to discuss more, but insurance wise, I just use liability waivers and just say, this person does work at the clinic, but that's not what we're doing here. Basically something more legal ease than that, but I just do liability release, and then so that everybody's clear that it's a separate thing and this is a separate role. And then I don't personally worry about the insurance because I've done so much outside of my, being an OT and outside of that role. So I'm constantly having people sign liability waivers, and then that makes everything run more smooth.
And
Gotcha.
Another area you can do that, if it was me, I would have my employee do it under my business, but we'll be working with an attorney as well to make sure that we have waiver and liabilities to cover that they sign when they're going on this, that you as a business and an employee are not held liable. So be working with attorneys to get those proper forms set up for those that are doing that. So
Okay.
And then
Sarah probably has some more on that, because I've never had a private therapy business or anything, or had any employees, so.
and then the same thing with those of the rest of you that are already have this signed up for your therapy business. I would also make sure that your business insurance, liability insurance, and so forth, that you have on there, you know, what you're doing as well. And that this is a private pay type, you know, part of your business. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with insurance or anything like that as far as
Mhm.
goes, but you still want to make sure you yourself, your business, and your employee that's going out there are not held liable for any accidents or injuries and so forth.
Yeah, that's what, I haven't thought about that because she's a
Yep.
true W-2 for me. So, all
Yeah.
right, I'll stop talking.
What-
I'll let you keep
what-
going.
Which I would
Oh.
still, again, you can still use that employee, but you are going to have to set up appropriate waivers and then make sure your business has, you know, your business liability insurance is going to cover that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. I mean, she's under our, business general liability insurance, even also on the professional liability insurance. She's
Yep.
underneath that. So,
and just
Okay.
make sure you add that round though, because right now they're, you know, for your liability insurance, they're covering you as a therapy practice. They might not have, you know, it'd probably be good to let them know that you're also doing this kind of senior companion.
travel. Yeah.
Yep. So,
Did
Oh.
you hear that, ladies and gentlemen, people who are watching? This is the reason why I like attending live webinars like this. You get to ask questions. And then I myself, I have questions to Kara and Karen all the time. So ask those questions, just don't listen. Just don't, just don't listen, be a participator. You participate that way. That's how you learn and then take action. So, all right. Okay. I'll stop talking,
Awesome.
Kara. Go ahead.
So I know this is technically this screen is technically speaking to the choir. You guys on here all know why physical and occupational therapy professionals have the skills and knowledge to help older adults with this. So, but this is all information that you can also utilize when you are starting this business and when you're working with others in the community to let them know why your senior companion travel business would be the best, because you have the understanding of mobility limitations. You are already experienced with client-centered care. You're familiar with the healthcare system. Maybe not outside of the US, but we also have people in our group that might be familiar with different healthcare systems, as well as good communication skills. So again, just our information or our background as therapists really fit this type of business well. We just are not, I feel that OT, PT professionals are not always the best at thinking of other non-traditional type jobs. We tend to look for jobs that say PT or OT in them, but this would be a great fit for both of us.
And something else too that is really important is the education piece and the prehab that can happen with the travel, even if they're not, even if you don't have a specific, like I don't have a specific business, but like last year when I took, it was my dad, because he's a senior, and my bonus mom, I took them to Germany and we went to Oktoberfest, we went to the Passion Play. So we sinned, and then we were, we went to the big Passion Play that happens every 10 years in Bavaria. But in the months that led up to that, and as of course, COVID we kind of all got homebodied, and some people got changed shapes and got in deconditioned states and whatever. And so we actually, for a few months before that, using, especially with my dad, because I live with him, and I could say, like we're going to need to be able to walk this far and do this and get, have these different things. And he has had a lot of like back surgeries and hip replacements, and he lost a bunch of weight and he got in way better physical condition just to be able to go through the trip. So it's a huge motivator. And the education and the prehab that we can do is also extremely important. And then, you know, like Mike's talked about, like billing for those services appropriately, even if you don't have an established therapy business where they could come and do, and you know, you could bill for that. But if you do, certainly you could take a look at, you know, this aspects of your you know, your therapy are going to be geared toward getting you ready for the trip, because that's their goal, right? Is to be able to be as independent as possible on that trip, whether or not you go on it with them or someone goes with them. So
before we go on to the next screen, we have some questions on here. If an OTA or a PTA can do this, or do we have to have the OTR on staff? So this is where people really get stuck, and it's a great question and we get it all the time, but this business is not an OT or a PT or a therapy business. You are creating a senior travel companion business, which Bob down the street that never graduated from high school can create, right? But you're using your skills as an OTA that, you know, you have all this understanding of what we're going to talk about here, mobility, health limitations, adaptive equipment, safety, to build this business. So you're not providing actual skilled therapy in this type of business. Now, I will tell you, we do have a group of therapists that already have their own private therapy practice, and they're adding this component as another offering to their business. But again, it's a private pay, non-therapy type business. So hopefully that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, let me know. So I wouldn't even, I mean, you're not going to be necessarily promoting that you're, can we use, as a COTA, can we use our credentials to promote our business and still be in compliance with state regulations and our license? So this business isn't, well, that's a good question. Sue would probably say we need to check into that a little bit more.
That's true.
Yes, and we can look into that a little bit more. But again, this isn't a therapy business. You're not providing a therapy. You're not providing a therapy service. This is completely. It's like you're going out and starting a crumble cookie.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, if you're a therapist, but you're also like, you open a restaurant, you're not going to sit there and have every single customer come in and sign waivers and say, you know, like, I understand that I'm not getting therapy services. You're not using your license. So it's a travel professional. This is a travel agent with, you know, you become a home-based travel agent, and you're independently contracted through IntelliTravel, which we can get more into, which is a home-based business. It doesn't matter if you are Bob down the street, or if you are an OTD or a DPT or whatever. You keep them separate. Now, do I say all the time, I am an OT with 21 years of experience, and with 20 plus years of experience, and now working as a travel agent. And yes, I say that all the time. I do not ever worry about putting the license or saying I'm licensed, or, I mean, I can work in 20 different countries. I can book people to wherever. And so some of the real legalities of this are something that we will flesh out with you one-on-one as you're going as well. And so I want to make sure that we get to the rest of it, because this is a general, but absolutely anybody can do this. And I just want to finish by saying, I actually think sometimes that PTAs and COTAs are just as good, if not better, because they have been the boots on the ground for so long. And one of my COTAs that I used to work with is on this call tonight, and she's on my team now, and she's got a lot of great ideas. And so you know, like, anybody can do this, anybody should do this, and maybe even more so a little bit, you guys. Like Kara has said, no more supervision, no more high productivity. All those years of experience working in those SNFs or wherever you were, and all that you got can now be put into place to create these really awesome experiences for people. And you know, and so those details are something that we'll work one-on-one with you with as well.
I also want to add that, Karen, Kara, thank you for pointing that out. You're doing this, ladies and gentlemen, and then you're adding your credentials, not because you're doing skilled physical therapy. You're adding your credentials because it just increases your credibility. Because you're providing senior travel companion. You're not providing skilled physical or occupational therapy. You're providing senior travel companionship. So when you approach this, I know it's so hard for us to take off our therapist hat, whether you're a therapist or an assistant, but you really need to take off that therapist hat and then approach this as a business owner.
Yes.
Approach this as a person who's opening up this business, not because you want to create a team, but you want to hire a person.
Uh-oh.
Well, hopefully Michael's okay. He'll be back. Okay, I'm just going to go through again. So we talked about reasons why we should be doing this, but why older adults would benefit from us. Again, all things that you guys know, because we understand their mobility and health limitations. We know what adaptive equipment is, what they need, where they could find it, what would be beneficial. We can prioritize their safety and wellness. We might be able to also connect them with other places in the area. Like, again, like I'm thinking, I am helping someone get from here down to Florida where Jatel lives. Well, if they do need continued therapy when they're down in Florida, well, and they're going to where Jatel is, I could tell them there are these therapists in that area if you need to continue to get your therapy there. I'm not personally providing that type of service. I'm helping with the travel part, but we also can connect them with other services that they need in that area. So a lot of people want to know what can they earn from, starting this type of business. So the cost of senior travel companion services are going to vary greatly depending on so many different factors and what kind of services you are providing. So the location, where are the trips? Are you going just in the United States? Are you going overseas? Are you going just locally? What's the type of trip? What's the size? What are the services provided? How long's the trip? What type of support's needed? So there's so many different things that come into play that we can't tell you you're going to make this much money, because it's going to really depend what type of business and what all you want to be able to do. Now, many senior travel companion services charge an hourly rate, and it's a huge range, which I know isn't very helpful, but the range we found was $25 to $100 or more dollars per hour, depending on what kind of service is going on. And now I don't really know anything about these businesses. I don't support them. I don't say these are great businesses or you should go look at them. I just wanted to show you that there are already people that have already created and are running businesses like this. So these are just 4 examples of senior travel companion services. So you guys can see that other people are doing this. AgeWell is a company that provides travel services. They specialize in helping seniors with mobility or cognitive limitations. They have companions that provide assistance with ADLs, medication management, and travel arrangements. Then there's a business called Flying Companions. They help people navigate airports, boarding, deboarding flights, and managing luggage. So 2 completely different businesses, right? Then there's someone that's travel care and logistics. They provide travel companion for seniors who are traveling domestically and internationally, and they also provide on-site assistance. Then there's Seniors on the Go. They offer group trips that are designed for seniors and their companions. So you really can design this however you want.
Yep.
Our only
I
limitation
know I got
is
cut off,
usually us.
Kara,
Yes.
but I don't know if I've been sharing this lady in our private group in Alternative Career, Karen Shove. She is an RN, and what she does is she takes dementia patients on a cruise trip.
I so want to
And
do that.
And then, you know what? Because we have lots of contacts and everything, there's this other occupational therapist. She reached out to me, hey, Michael, could you connect me to Karen? So I had them connected. Now, that occupational therapist is teaching our class, the Alzheimer's class, or whatever class that she's offering, the dementia, the certified dementia, whatever class. And she's teaching it in that cruise. And then, the caregivers are learning, and then the patient are enjoying, not the patient, their client is enjoying, and then she's making money going out on a cruise. And they don't do it monthly. I think they do it quarterly or something. So you just have to open your mind and then be so creative, and then everything will follow. So
Yep.
our company is going to be called Jerry Trip. So
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. And you know what's great is that, like, when you combine the travel agent side of it, and I'll just give a quick example. Today I booked, it's my dad's friends on this trip. It's this 32-day cruise. They're in their 80s. They're going with their kids who are in their 60s. And they have, like, I mean, I'm just gonna skip to the good part. I made $4,000 in commission, and I did about an hour's worth of work. Now, for a standard OT job, I'd have to work about 2 weeks to get that kind of pay. So but you think about it, and then you get all these travel perks as well. Like if I book 3 total cruises on with like Princess Cruise Lines, that's the one I use today, I get a free cruise. So I could go on the cruise for free and make the commission, and then I could also upcharge, like say if on that particular cruise I got 2 more couples to go, I would go for free. I would make another $8,000 or $4,000 or whatever, and then I would also be able to go for free, and then I could probably charge more if it, there's a million different ways to work that. So you think about that.
Awesome. Okay, so that's Senior Travel Companion. Now you can also create yep.
The trip that we did last November, is that a senior trip? Because
yeah, because I brought you
accessibility for all of us.
That's more in line with our third topic today. So another business you can that you can create is just accessible travel. So how is that different than the Senior Travel Companion service? So accessible travel businesses cater to travelers with disabilities and mobility limitations, providing them with tailored travel experiences to meet their needs. So this, again, is not just limited to the older adult population. If you didn't watch our webinar with January, who is focusing on travel for families and families with disabilities, families with kids with autism, be sure to watch it. But there is such a need for accessible travel in all ages. So this would be something that you can do that can be similar, but if you don't want to just focus on geriatrics, you want to focus on helping people with accessible travel, you can do this. They say that the accessible travel market is estimated to be worth billions of dollars globally, and it's expected to continue to grow as more people with disabilities and mobility limitations seek out travel experiences that meet their needs. So again, a huge area that's only going to continue to grow. And again, I'm just going to fly through this so we can get more time and you guys can hear a little bit more from Karen, because I feel like this is so just again, speaking to the choir, that you guys all know why we should be the ones doing this. But you know, OT and PT professionals are well suited to running this type of business because we work with individuals with disabilities and mobility limitations all the time. We're skilled at assessing the physical needs of travelers with disabilities and designing customized plans. We know what equipment they might need. Also, cognitive barriers, functional barriers, ability to provide training or education. Now, I will say, when you get to the point of travel training, some side of community mobility, some things like that, you could cross over into the line of some sort of skilled therapy. That we could probably have a 10-hour discussion on that, which we're not going to tonight. But there is, I will tell you that there are probably several other companies doing this that don't have the expertise that we do, but this is another option. And just to show you some examples of other accessible travel business, again, I don't know anything about these businesses. I don't recommend them, support them, or anything. This is only to show you guys that other people are doing this and that you can do it too. So Sage Traveling, they specialize in accessible travel for people with disabilities. Accomable is a travel platform that helps with accessible accommodation. No, I can't talk tonight. Michael, I'm already having troubles. Accommodations, accessible journeys. They do. Oh, is it gone? Okay. They do, fully accessible tours and cruises, flying wheels. They offer a wide variety of travel options. So it's not just one thing or the other. But again, you can see that all of these are each unique, and you can make your own unique business as well. And you can combine senior travel companion, accessible business. I mean, a lot of it overlaps as well. The last thing, I have my slides out of order. My bad. The last thing I wanted to talk about is group travel planning. And let me go back to the screen. Sorry, everyone. But there is a need for businesses that plan group vacations for older adults and their caregivers. As the population ages, many older adults are seeking out travel experiences that includes opportunities to travel with their friends and family. When you do a group travel experience, it can provide the opportunity for socialization and extra support when they're going. And in recent years, there has been more and more businesses that are specializing in planning group vacations for older adults and their caregivers. And Karen will talk about this in more detail. But again, we know as PTs and OTs, the importance of socialization, having the right team and staff there. We know what kind of specialized support they would need. We can help customize the travel plan and arrange this type of travel experience. Examples of businesses that plan group vacations for older adults and their caregivers: Road Scholar, Grand Circle, Elder Tracks, Caregiver Cruises. These are all different kind of businesses that are already doing this. Again, I don't recommend any of them, just ideas for you guys to start getting your minds a churning and what kind of things you would like to do. Now, before we go on any further, question for you. Out of what we've talked about already, senior travel companion services, accessible travel, group travel business, if you were to start a therapy, travel professional business using your therapy skills, what type of business would you like to do? If you could put that in the comment section so we can kind of see where everyone's at. Okay, yep. We got senior travel and group, all of it. Accessible, pediatric based, senior. Yeah, so there's lots of different options. And Karen's obviously the expert when it comes to the travel part. And I just want to say that before she takes over, with this type of business that we're going to talk about, you know, there's been a lot of talk online. Is this an MLM or things like that? There are two complete separate sides to this business. There's a side of it where we help you become a travel agent, which allows you to access everything you need to plan vacations, to get tickets to events, to do everything with MLM. Sorry, I'll talk about what that is. The travel agent side allows you to, you know, get reduced price to anything. You can travel yourself with travel agent rates. That has absolutely nothing to do with any type of multi-level marketing. Okay. So people were concerned that that's what this is. It's not. There are two options for you, but if you truly just want to focus on your business and do this, you can just go through and become a travel agent, which Karen and Sarah help people with. I'm trying, but I'm a newbie, so I'm not very good at answering questions yet, but I'm working on it. There is another side where you can sponsor other people to do this type of business and build a team of other therapy professionals. Or, you know, I mean, my niece is on here, Kylie. I told her she should sign up to do this because they love to travel, and she doesn't have to start a business or do anything. She can just use the benefits of being a travel agent to save on all of their travel. My friend down the street, actually, my hairstylist husband, loves to travel, loves to plan vacations, loves to do all this. I told him about it. He signed up just to be the travel agent part because he loves to travel. Their family loves to go places, and they're doing that. So there are options out there, but what we're really talking about is the travel agent side, and then how, if we continue to build a group of us that are doing this and help supporting each other, we can build a team of therapy professionals across the United States that are starting their businesses, whether it is senior companion travel or pediatric accessibility travel or anything like that. So hopefully that makes sense, but I just wanted to.
No, you do not need to be a travel agent to have a senior travel companion business, but I do not know why you would not, because like I just said with the cruise, like I get it for cheaper. Like if you're planning to go or send people, like you can get cabins for free in a cruise, for example, or you get points and stuff with these different vendors, and you can just you just more fully leverage what you would make versus you would definitely have to partner with the travel agent, or you would just book them their trips and not make any commission off of it. So you definitely could. I don't know why you would personally, but so basically there's there's two opportunities, and about half of Kara's team and half of my team, half to 2/3 do both businesses and half do just the agent side. So with the agent side, you are partnering with a host travel agency, which is IntelliTravel, and we have more in the group that there's a general group that just gives everybody more information that I co-admin with my sponsor. If you're not into that, we can make sure that you are, and then we could also point you in that direction in the therapists as travel professionals. So that is $180 to start. It's a one-time startup fee. So that's why Mike was saying it's so super cheap. And then I think you pay $40 a month for the insurance, the errors and omissions insurance, the website, all the, the people that work in their back office, all that kind of stuff. And then the other side is Planet Marketing. And what they do is they market the IntelliTravel opportunity. And that is pretty much what Kara and I are doing here in part tonight, is we are talking about ways that you can, so we can have you sign up as a travel agent, on our team. And then there's lots of perks to doing that as you build a team. You know, for instance, once you get to 9 agents direct to you, then you're making a 10% override on all of the commission that they for everything that they book. So I don't have time to get into those details because I know that some people are going to be jumping off and onto that other call, but that's an extra $20. So you sign up for 2 separate things. So you can just sign up for the one thing just to get started. You can always add the rep sponsor side later to, if you decide you want to build a team. We have a lot of people do that. They get the agent side underneath them, or they start out with both immediately, because honestly, like, as you start to tell people, especially your therapist friends, your travel buddies, like those people who have this big desire, you're going to want to build a team, especially if you have a successful therapy or a travel companion, senior companion service. That is the best way to be able to service, because otherwise you're still doing a little bit of trading hours for dollars, trying to plan it for everyone, which takes time. Whereas if you can divvy it up, because you basically have your own travel agency, like in a month, Kara, I mean, this obviously speaks to therapists on some level, because in a month, Kara has put on 33 people in her team. So, or 32 plus her. So, and about half of my people are agents, or are therapists that are agents on my team. So if you want to do both businesses, it's a mere $200 to start, one-time startup fee. And then there is a, you know, it's $60 a month, because it's $20 a month for the other one, and $20 startup, $20 a month. So $200 to start up, and then $60 a month gets you a full licensure for agency work. And then also, you know, you can build a team. So it's a pretty good deal.
I can't pull up, my computer is frozen, so it's not letting me pull up the screen. But I will tell you, I have a lot of people, or, you know, other people that just signed up to just get the benefits of the travel agent side. But yeah, we have quite a few people that just signed up for the travel agent side. But we have people that signed up for, you know, for both. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really exciting, because I see some new faces, and I see some, you know, some that have been existing now almost in a month since we've been putting everybody on. So, and everybody's coming up with a lot of really great ideas as well. So, so yeah, I'm excited, and I think that people have great ideas, and it's really exciting to see where everybody's going with this.
So questions on, so if I have friends or coworkers that would like to become travel agents, how do I get them started as part of my team? So if you are already signed up, just let Karen and I know, and then we can guide you with how to go through that process to get them started. How long does it take to complete the training program? Is there a specific certification? So you need to complete the travel agent training, which really doesn't take too long. I mean, I kind of watched it on 1.5, 1.75 the speed, and took my certification pretty quick. Probably
Yeah,
shouldn't tell people that, but you can listen to them pretty quickly and understand it. There are different types of certifications out there. We had a webinar the other day that was
certified autism.
Yep. So
the good thing about being, and this is totally opposite from the therapy world or healthcare world, where you have to pay a lot of money to get those certifications. That certified autism travel professional was the first certification or training I've paid for beyond my initial fees. And I paid $75 for it to get it. It's basic. You know, I just got it. Like because most vendors and most people that you book with when you are on that travel agent side, they train you for free. They give you perks and stuff because they want you to book with them. So everything is almost everything is free for you as an agent to get signed up with. And the initial training, it's kind of self-paced. We set you up. We have a training system that we use, and it's kind of self-paced. We give you like a to-do list of everything you have to go through. The thing that you absolutely have to do before you can book travel is you have to go through IntelliTravel University, which is what I think Kara said she was watching on 1.75, because it's how they train you to use their system, how to register for suppliers, a bunch of different things. And, you know, like it's like any business that you start or any job that you start, you don't just jump right in. Like I always get people asking me like, when can I book travel? I have a trip coming up next week. And it's like, well, you know, how fast can you get up and running and get going? And then you have to register with suppliers and it takes time. So we say on average, if you're putting, you know, time into it every day, depending on how much time you have, some people knock it all out on a Saturday. Some people do it 20 minutes here and there during the week. So 1 to 2 weeks is what we say for getting, if you're consistently working on getting it set up. But I've had people take 3 months to do it, and some people still haven't completed all of it, you know, that started right after me. So it's all up to you. There's no minimums. There's nobody's going to come to you and say, hey, you didn't, like, this is your business. And so we do provide full support and training on our team, and not a lot of other teams do. So it's a lot of information on the agent side. So, you know, so it's, yeah. So we have a whole, Melissa, we have the whole video. I don't know if you watched the video, but I can get you that information. So yeah.
If you go to our YouTube channel, Next Level Occupational Therapy YouTube, you'll find the webinar there as well. So
and we
we
posted
posted in the Next Level OT group and our starter therapy. I mean, we posted in a bunch of different places. So
yep.
I would share the link, but my computer's not letting me do anything right at this moment. So
well, that's cool. Mine decided to choose now to try to shut down, restart, and upload a new operating system. So I keep saying, no. So, so yeah, definitely any other questions, let us know. You know, it's fun, you guys. Like I had a blast going with my dad and my bonus mom to Germany. Like I got as much out of it as they did. I love booking it for people. I mean, I think my therapy skills, like all those years of evaluating and spending time talking to older people, like we just have a skill set right there. Not even, you know, not even like a specific therapy skill, but just being able to interview, ask questions, get to know the person, find out what's important to them versus what's important to you. Because I do see a fair amount of that where people are trying to, you know, well, but this travel deal is really great. And it's like, you know, I've just been able to create some wonderful experiences. People are so thankful, they're happy, they're excited. And it's really fun for you too, if you actually go along. So I'm really excited to see that more people are interested in doing something like this, because until I met Kara, I was like the only one doing it.
Karen, I'm not sure on, Colleen asked what agent membership is recommended. I read ASTA as recommended.
I don't belong to ASTA. I've seen that, but I think initially just get yourself going with the home-based agency. There's a lot of stuff they send you for free. I don't do any memberships to anything. I get stuff sent to me all the time. But I'm not actually a member of any one particular, but I heard ASTA is good. But I don't. I mean, the travel agent world, they literally, they give you stuff. I mean, you can take these FAM trips, which are familiarization trips, which are, you know, each resort or each place or whatever will offer them for, I mean, it's just like, you can go on a cruise or you can go to an all-inclusive or whatever for pennies on the dollar. And then you just kind of take some tours, and sometimes they don't even do that. They just want you to come experience. So they'll give it to you for like a third of the price of what a normal price is. So I don't get too much into certifications and memberships just yet.
Keep the cost as low as possible.
That's right. That's how I am. I mean, we have a bunch of tools for you guys getting started. Everything that we offer for like our initial training, any apps that we recommend, almost none of them have a cost. And if they do, it's like Canva, who might have a small cost if you decide to go pro, or like Voxer has a cost if you decide to go get a pro account, but otherwise it's free. Boards is free, and that's our training platform. So we really want you to get, have as easy of a start as possible. And we've done a lot of the hard work for you. Sarah and I, about 3 months into it, Sarah and I said, we need a better way. There was a lot of chaos in the whole thing beforehand. And it was all in Facebook Messenger, and there just wasn't anything to refer people to. And we were just answering the same questions over and over and over again. So we're and it's still work in progress. So I keep track of everything, the questions that I get a lot of times, and then we work on making training videos and stuff like that to try to minimize the confusion. But I will tell everyone who is on here who's an existing agent and anyone who's thinking about joining, it is a lot of information at first. It takes a while, but all of a sudden it'll just kind of sink in as you keep going into it. And, like people really want to run with this. So they're like, third day in, they're like, okay, when can I quit my job and go in? But I'm still so confused and overwhelmed and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, so it takes a minute, but just like everything else that we've done before, all of a sudden it just kind of anchors in, and you're like, whoa, I'm doing this. And like the first booking you get, it's such a high. I booked something for $800 in commission my first week in the business. I didn't even know what I was doing. And someone guided me toward that. And before I knew it, I had an $800 commission under my belt. So that paid for everything. And after that, I was sold, I just made a post on Facebook, got a couple of my travel buddies were like, I want to travel for cheaper too. And so they joined my team, and I've been going ever since. So never looking back on this one.
Carol is wondering how long IntelliTravel has been around.
30 years, close to that. So they have a like an A+ business rating with Better Business Bureau. They have something like 6 complaints over the last 30 years filed on them, which is insane, especially when you consider the world of travel is probably just as open to healthcare for liability and, different things. So they have been around for a long time. And then Planet Marketing came along and about 7 years ago and talked to the people that own IntelliTravel and said, we want to make a way that people can grow their own teams of home-based agents, and then they can grow their own teams and they can make money on that side with the residual passive income and have a way to further expand that. And so then for the last 7 years, there's been this optional network marketing side, and IntelliTravel is growing gangbusters because of it, because they reward people like me, Kara, Sarah, other people to help other people start their agent business. So I think we just passed 80,000 agents in the company. And I think I heard they had something like 14,000 when we started 7 years ago. So, and with travel being back as hard it's an $8 trillion a year industry that there's basically no competition. So if people have tried other things like health and wellness supplements or whatever the case may be, there's it's a pretty saturated market out there. Like you're kind of competitive against other products and stuff that are being sold out there. And then it's also, they just throw everybody in, whether they want a team build or not, the only way you can really get ahead and get that passive and residual income is to do both, even though they may not want to. So I was in the health and wellness network marketing industry for about 13 years. And I had some success with it, but I felt like I was chasing and convincing people all the time. First of all, you don't have to charge people for your services, right? If you're just doing general travel agent services, you don't have to charge them. You do that for free because you make commissions. And then when you're on the team building side, I mean, people just come to me. I've never experienced it like this before, where people are like, me, that's how Kara was. She's like, hey, I think this is me. I want to do this, so it's really it's a whole different ball game. And I love both companies are great. and have been very supportive when there's been issues. And so I just never looked back.
We have another question. How long have you been doing this?
How long have I been doing this?
Yep.
I have been doing this since May 14th of last year. And I didn't start taking it seriously until August. And then I was actually on a travel assignment in Nebraska last year. That's how I met a couple of people who are actually on this call tonight. And I actually ended up walking away from that travel assignment for the first time ever, because there were so many ethical and patient care issues and the way they were treating their employees, including me. And I ended up walking away, and I just decided to go full time into it. And I was pretty much doing that, but I was working some other stuff up until recently. I was working as an adjunct professor in an MSOT program here locally to me in Grand Junction, Colorado. And then I was also doing some teletherapy. And one day I was just done with traditional OT, and I just went all in. So, yeah, I feel like I've been really, like, for about 6 months, I've been putting in solid effort, but I've been creating the system, the training systems. And, with Sarah, who is above me, who now she's been in for 1.5 years, and she has a team of 150 agents, and she books some pretty high price travel too, as well. She does some pretty cool stuff on the travel agent side still, but she's able to do this full time as well. So we have 2 people supporting everyone full time, and it's growing by the day, because people are able to replicate what we did and do it much, much faster. Like, the joke is now that Sarah creates it, Karen helps her, then Karen comes along and does it twice as fast as her, and then Kara comes along and does it instantly.